What? You're running out of time. Party camera is nearly powered up.
Take out the APU gadgets as soon as possible. If the dropship gets powered up, it'll bring its main guns online.
Omega Lab, we're getting cargo secure. As soon as we're able to lift, we need to get on board as quickly as possible. We're now tracking multiple targets inbound.
You've got him on radar, Stroll. Moving to intercept.
Oh no!
We're...
Greetings, Mech Warriors, and welcome to this Season 9, Week 1 cast between 54th Mechanized Regiment and Blackthorn's Dragoons. Division C teams. I think this is going to be an exciting match. I, of course, am Bandit B17, and with me, as always, is MDM0.
Hey guys, how's it going?
This is our first cast of the season, so bear with us. I haven't done a shoutcast since the World Championship, which was fun. Hopefully you guys were able to watch it and hopefully you enjoyed the show. But we are back in with MRBC and 54th MR versus Blackthorn's Dragoons. These guys have met in the past. Both of them, I believe, were Division C last season?
Division D.
They were Division
D.
D. Right. And correct me if I'm wrong, but it seemed like they were very close in the standings. What do you have for numbers?
Third and fourth place in Division D last season for both teams. 54th in third place, and Blackthorn Dragoons, as I said, in 54th. That's in fourth place. Gosh, that's gonna throw me off. Obviously, we had a little bit of churn, right, with some of the top-end teams moving around, some of them maybe not coming back to MRBC for a season, taking some time off, from the MechWarrior Online World Championships. We all know how many matches were played there. So an opportunity for some of these other teams to move up, but just taking a look at the standings, 28 wins, 22 losses last season for 54th, 27 wins, 23 losses for Blackthorn Dragoons. Should be a pretty good matchup.
The biggest question is, have these teams grown since last season? I know for a fact 54th MR has been doing quite a bit of scrimmaging of all kinds of teams. They have a huge practice presence on the field right now. Everybody seemingly has played them so far, except for my team. I don't know why. They want to, though. But
we're scared.
We will. Yeah, we're scared. But I'm not sure what BTD has been doing. I know that they have practices. I haven't really heard much on the scrimmaging front, so who knows? In the off-season, who was able to grow the most? And that is the biggest question. I'd like to see some of you guys in chat throw in there. Who do you think is going to win this one, looking at these two teams? Definitely toss that in there. We'll see some of those predictions. But, of course, we are going into Drop 1 right off the bat. Frozen City, Domination. This is the only Domination map tonight. 4 lights, 4 mediums, 0 heavies, 0 assaults. Frozen City should be an interesting one.
And I might be in the minority here, but I'll just state it right off the bat to start the MRBC season. I like Frozen City. I am maybe one of the few people in this game, it seems, that enjoys Frozen City, but I'm a big fan. And Domination on this map, well, it's Domination. It plays out just about like every other Domination map, except for maybe some of the terrain around the outside, and that boat in the middle gives you a bit of cover. But for the most part, I expect to see, fast-paced, light brawls. That's what it's all about.
All right, first thing right off the bat that I'm noticing is none of my controller binds are working. But that is okay. Let's see
First
if
match
I
of the
can
season.
Remember all of them now. All right, we are on the Blackthorn's Dragoon side. The mediums have dropped over here on the right side of the map. I am seeing dual Griffin 2Ns and a Nova, Hunchback 2CA. Keybinds.
On 54th, they brought dual Novas. I love that Nova build on this. Let's take a look at what they've got. Small pulse lasers, nothing else.
Hunchback 2CA for Blackthorn's Dragoons rolling 8 small pulse lasers. Interesting build. We don't see that too often.
Wow, yeah, that's not a
we'll have
standard
to see.
build.
how many. I'm not even going to look at the Nova for how many they have, but both teams up in the cities, they have both of the Locusts down
Got
in
a
the
little bit of a
circle,
standoff
just
here.
controlling the point. So far, 54th has a lead by 5 seconds, but looks like 54th is calling the charge, heading straight in on those mediums. Not sure if Blackthorn's Dragoon sees them yet, but here they come. The lights are leading right
Lights are
into the
definitely a
main.
little ahead right now. That could be a bad thing if Blackthorn's Dragoons
Oh, we
capitalize
have
and
an
they leg a
instant
Jenner.
leg on the Jenner, and he goes down.
That is a good quick
incredibly
kill.
quick. That is very good for Blackthorn's Dragoons, but their Nova now being chased by the main body of 54th. He's getting around the corner, but trying to live as long as he can. People need to start focusing on some targets here, though. We got 4v1. L Switchblade, the leader from 54th, getting jumped.
He is
legged as well. He should be going down shortly. 2 dead now for 54th. 3 dead. Blackthorn's Dragoons up by 2. The next focus target is that Huntsman, but he is able to land a slick kill on the Griffin 2N. 2 quick kills, evening it up. 3 dead on both sides.
Looks like
Firestarter in the
Blackthorn's
back,
Dragoons
dueling
has
with
lost a
those
little bit of
Novas.
focus, but they get the Huntsman down.
54th
And
has both
54th
of their
has
Novas
2
out of the fight
mediums
right
in the
now.
backfield. Yeah.
They were dueling with a single light, and he was doing a really good job distracting them. They are getting in there now. They leg. Firestarter Cygnus goes down. 4 on both sides. Wolfhound is legged, but is able
Oh, those
to...
Novas are doing a ton of damage right now.
That Hunchback 2C just finally goes down, but he was alive the whole time. Locust and an Arctic Cheetah left for Blackthorn's Dragoons up against the Nova and an Arctic Cheetah. That Nova looks like he's in pretty good shape, sitting at 60%, but he's getting hit in the back by the Arctic Cheetah. He is legged. Arctic Cheetah playing very gingerly, overheat.
And the
by
other
Raging
light
Wampa.
is also legged for 54th.
Oh, that's not good.
I think
for
Blackthorn's
54th.
Dragoons
Last
has
one
this.
left, the legged Arctic Cheetah, but he gets a legged on the other Cheetah. Leg cripple fight, and he goes down. 2 left for Blackthorn's Dragoons. Both mechs very hurt, but the Locust able to cruise into the circle for the big finish. What a first match. What a way
I think
to
those
start
light
this
mechs
one.
won it for Blackthorn's Dragoons, but if 54th goes back and looks at that, they're going to want to have sent in those mediums just a little bit quicker with the lights on that initial engagement. I mean, that Jenner got legged right off the bat, and he
What
was in
good
alone.
Focus fire by Blackthorn's Dragoons to take that light out right off the bat. And then on top of that, I think the other thing that stuck out to me is the Blackthorn Dragoons had a light mech. I think it was the Firestarter or the Arctic Cheetah. Somebody was over there messing with those 2 Novas.
I don't think it was the Firestarter. I think it was maybe the Arctic. No, it had to have been the Jenner.
We're gonna
'cause
have
the
to go
Locust
back
and the
to
Arctic
the
Cheetah
replay
left.
on that, because one light mech tying up 2 Novas for as long as he did, that really bought BTD a lot of time to work down the rest of the mechs on the other side of the field. Looking at the damages here, the Novas did 380 apiece. That is a lot of damage. Gotta wonder how much of that ended up being spread. But the Locust 1E being held to 70 damage, and that initial Jenner at 42 damage. On the other
And that
side,
was brutal.
the Griffin 2N pulling 345. Overall, I would say a lot more of an even spread on damage on BTD's side, but they had a lot less standout mechs.
Yeah.
Everybody just doing their job, and that was fantastic. So that was Blackthorn's Dragoons, 8 kills to 6, winner and bonus to both teams, going to drop 2. Let's take a look at the scores. 350 rep for Blackthorn's Dragoons, but 54th, it was a close loss, and they got the bonus, pulling 200 rep, basically getting the same amount of rep they would have gotten with an 8 kill if they didn't win. So that bonus really helped out. Great start by BTD, coming out strong, but 54th is right on their heels. They need to see if they can carry this momentum into the rest of the match.
Yeah, and like I said, I think the biggest thing in that match was the timing between the lights and the mediums for 54th, and the focus was just a little bit better by Blackthorn's Dragoons. I mean, 54th didn't have bad focus, but like you said, those 2 Novas getting tied up in the backfield really hurt them. That being said, those 2 Novas then at the end were starting to clean up, and it got a little close there. Luckily, those last couple of lights for Blackthorn's Dragoons were able to take out and do some damage to the back of that one Nova that was pretty fresh, but I think they got a pretty quick leg on him from behind, and that, I think, was the difference in that game. As soon as they legged that Nova, it was over.
And really the setup on the map was almost mirrored. One locust apiece in the circle, everybody sitting up abreast. 54th MR deciding to make that initial push. Lights way ahead of the mediums, cost them that initial Jenner, which is a big play. BTD, great focus fire and punishing them for that one. Let's see if I can come up with a replay here. All right, so both teams set up across each other. 54th makes the call. You can see their mediums kind of cut a little bit over, and here comes that initial Jenner jumping right across, dropping.
And that Jenner
right
landed right in the middle of
everybody.
the mediums too.
And then boom, right there. That was a big play. Getting that leg, taking him out. Now the mediums are finally in the fight. So most of 54th chasing the Nova. Great job by that Nova getting around the corner, just trying to waste as much of their time as possible. It clearly breaks up their focus fire. Most of BTD is on L Switchblade in that Griffin 2N. They're able to work him down quick, but the kills were just trading side to side. It was so close. Multiple fights happening on multiple sides of the field here. Great kill there by that Huntsman into the Griffin, just keeping it even. But while this is happening, it is the fire starter against those two Novas.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Cygnus in that fire starter, tying up those two Novas, joining the fight, 4v1 on the Wolfhound. Finally, the Novas are able to come back into it. But by that time, they were able to really work on... Look at how healthy some of those 54th mechs are, though. And they actually pulled it back, got the lead there, 4-3, but then another quick kill. Just trading back and forth. They got the lead again, back down to 2-2. How exciting. And then getting that back shot right here. Great teamwork by those lights. One of them going behind, one of them going in the front. Getting a quick leg and the shutdown. Able to work down that last Nova. But then he gets legged as well. And then they've got a cripple fight between the Arctic Cheetahs there. Exciting finish. Bellicose almost able to pull off another kill to give their team another 25, but that Cheetah and that Locust coming in to help him. Able to secure the kill. 8-6.
Some good light play there at the end too, like you said, getting around both sides. You gotta wonder, losing L Switchblade, I think he was the second mech down for
right
54th. He's the team captain for 54th. I wonder if also typically team captains tend to be the drop callers as well. Sometimes losing your drop caller early on can be a pretty tough thing, especially if you don't have defined roles for someone else to step up afterwards and calling targets, calling positioning. If you lose your drop caller, you could lose a little bit of focus. I think we saw some loss of focus there right about that time. But like I said, those Novas were able to bring it back, make it a close game. Ultimately, Blackthorn's Dragoons' focus was just a little too good, and we're able to get those Novas down despite how fresh they were.
Absolutely, but 54th did very well. They can't let that get into their heads. If anything, it should just increase their resolve going into these heavier drops and see if they can come back on HPG Manifold. Conquest in drop 2. 2 lights, 4 mediums, 2 heavies, 0 assaults. HPG is a very interesting map to watch on Conquest. There's a lot of different things that can happen on this map. You got the guys hiding in the basement with like holding a 3-cap. Then you got the guys with the wall strat. Certain strats could be hard counters to other. We might even see just a straight up brawl right in the center. Mid-range push, ER large. I mean, there's all kinds of different things that you can see on this map. Yeah, man. I mean, it's really hard to say what we'll see on this one.
I think the one thing with having HPG early on, the 2-4-2 drop, wall strat can be tough, right? You have a lot of fast mechs on the field. You just gotta, if you're gonna play the wall strat, you gotta kind of keep your head on a swivel, make sure a light doesn't jump up on the wall behind you, force you off the wall. It's a very maneuverable environment, and a lot of times we'll see that kind of with the Shadow Cat up on the wall, something quick, fast with jump jets, a little bit of firepower, that range that the Shadow Cat might bring, or a Hunchback 2C, but it's more often you're going to see a medium on the wall than just about anything else in this match if they go wall strat.
Absolutely. So as I drew on the map here, if anything, normally teams will send at least one thing up on the wall. It's not always going to happen, but in Conquest on HPG, 2 spawns spawn right next to an easy ramp to the wall. So Bravo Lance is able to get somebody up significantly quicker for Team 1 than Team 2, but either way, both of them can get people up on the wall. Maybe we'll see some trading going out. It is 8v8 though, which means 4 mechs are forced to be in a Lance that's significantly further away, which can slow things down a bit. But there's only one way to find out what's going to happen in this one, and that is to go in and check it out. Still a very light drop, 2 lights, 4 mediums, 2 heavies, 0 assaults. So we can see some very fast-moving decks at play here.
An interesting deck choice for 54th MR. There were 2 Orions, Orion 2Cs. See if we can take a look at what they've got.
All right,
that is the mini Atlas
on
build.
The drop ships. Looks like we've got a split Lance, BTD splitting half and half. They've got the Locust in the middle for the immediate cap on Sigma.
Oh, this should be interesting. 54th is not going to be messing around with the wall strat. They are a full brawl deck. Dual Orion 2Cs, Huntsman, Nova.
We got dual
Shadowhawk
Night Gears
2D2.
for Blackthorn's Dragoons, already dropping some Goss across the way. It looks like they made a little bit of contact. They are a little bit more rangy, but they do have a Nova and a Shadowhawk 2D2 as well. So a bit of a mixed deck. It all comes down to the positioning and how well they receive this. But really, first things first, they need to scout out that 54th MR push if it comes.
Yeah, they need to realize this is not a trade deck one bit from 54th. I think their longest range mech is the Shadowhawk 2D2 with an AC-10.
Looks to me like 54th might be sending their team straight into the basement for the Theta Cap. Looks like they're hoping to hold 3. They've got guys out on the wall. They've got Epsilon and Gamma. Taking Theta is going to give the 3 cap. It's going to be on Blackthorn's Dragoons to make a move.
And this is when Seismic is so valuable.
They're either going to have to fight them over Theta or send somebody around for the back cap. But looks like the Locust might have gotten a peek in, but if anything, they know that they're on Theta now. That cap is being hard pushed. Up on
These
top.
lights need to be careful. If they get ganked or if they get taken out when they're up on the wall, that really puts 54th in a terrible position because they can't hold 3 cap.
They would be forced to come out from the basement. There's no reason at this moment 54th has to leave the basement holding that 3 cap, so BTD is going to have to come up with a solid gank or a solid push. They're sending their Locust in. He's got to be careful as well if he decides to go in on his own. We got a Stormcrow versus a Jenner 2C. Some initial combat going on here. That Jenner 2C getting a little bit jumped. Let's see if that
he's in a world of trouble here.
Hits. Locust is joining the fight.
54th needs to come out of Theta and jump on these guys that are left up top.
3 mechs, Arctic Cheetah, Locust, and Stormcrow
And here
all
comes
working that
54th.
Jenner.
Coming out of Theta.
All right, that's a good move by 54th. They needed to help him out, but high ground in favor of Blackthorn's Dragoons, getting a lot of early hits with those Night Gears on those approaching mechs. A lot of damage flying out. That Jenner 2C is down to 35%, but Switchblade goes down in that Griffin 2N. 2 quick kills for 54th. The Griffin
These
and
brawlers
that
for
Jenner.
54th need to stay aggressive. They're slowing down a little bit on these ramps. They're letting those Night Gears just pump out some damage.
They're starting to close in on those Night Gears, though. Blackthorn's continuing to lay out the kills, but now they're in the prime range for 54th. Those Night Gears are going to start dropping pretty quick. Looks like the one on the right, 65, goes down to Hydro Kyle in that Shadowhawk 2D2. Blackthorn's just trying to keep distance. The Night Gear drops down in the pits, getting
Night Gear's in a world of
4v1,
trouble.
Goes down as well, and this is where that range is going to start doing wonders for 54th. They're coming out strong. 2 mechs remain, the Hunchback 2CA and the Locust. And they're going to swing around, take out that Hunchback in 1 or 2 more shots. He is staying alive like a boss, though. That Locust joining the fight. He's the last one alive. Looks like this one is going to go in favor of 54th Mechanized Regiment. Let's see if that Locust can pick up 1 more kill. No use pointing at that Nova. He is perfectly fresh, and he goes down 8-4 in favor of 54th.
Solid brawl by 54th. Blackthorn's Dragoons a little bit over aggressive on those lights, and maybe that was 54th's plan. Keep those lights kind of hanging around as sort of a thought and see if they can't bait Blackthorn's Dragoons into chasing them and basically getting some prime shots into the back of the enemy team.
Holding that Griffin 2N and Jenner 2C, the initial 2 kills to 20 and 99 damage respectively, as well as the Archita at 82, was fantastic for BTD. The problem is 54th was built for sub 300 meters, and once they came out of that bottom and got around that corner, they had BTD right where they wanted them, and those Night Gears never stood a chance. The Night Gears pulling 332 and 296, which is respectable, but they just could not get the job done under a hail of fire from the Huntsman and those Orions and the Nova and the 2D2. Fantastic Brawl mechs just doing a lot of work.
And the other thing, I think those Night Gears had the early warning, so to speak, that they were coming out. I'm pretty sure someone was running seismic sensor, but at the same time, they were immediately above the Theta exit, which is good for shooting down the second that they come out of Theta. But it's pretty darn close to those brawlers. You're already in that 300 meter range. Whereas if maybe you were playing along the wall on the outside, or not on the outside, but on the outer wall of the inside of HPG, you might have a little bit more range and be able to keep backing up and let them run into you over a longer distance. I'm not sure I like that positioning of the Night Gears if they were purposefully sitting there waiting for 54th to come out.
The only way that could have possibly worked in my mind is if they were able to get some significant back shots and maybe take some of those Orions out or something, but they were able to huddle their way out. They did stall out a little bit on that push.
They did.
But I think part of that had to do with protecting their mechs against those Night Gears. If they just ran straight out and whipped around, I believe those Night Gears would have been able to do significantly more, but they protected their mechs very well and were able to continue up that hill, spreading damage perfectly, and then laying out that superior close-range firepower right into those Night Gears. Once they get into that 100, 200 meter range, those Night Gears never stood a chance.
Yeah.
And, maybe having them a little bit more split up, like one on top of Theta and then one off to the side, it could have allowed them to continue putting out more damage for longer.
Yeah.
But bottom line, their positioning allowed them to be too close to the action.
Yeah, I think that positioning was good if you want high initial damage, which I think they did, but it's poor for being able to continue to do damage over time because you're too close. Whereas, like I said, alongside the outer edge of the ring, you might not get that initial look into Theta when they're coming out. They're going to have a little bit of a free exit out of Theta, but at the same time, it gives you so much more room to, one, keep distance between them, and two, be able to back up while they're charging at you. Just a little bit of maybe a nit in the positioning there, but again, I think 54th might have done that on purpose, trying to get those lights to be, a tasty target for Blackthorn's Dragoons to chase after and then come out right behind them, and that's what they did.
I do believe that that Jenner got a little bit jumped. I think he didn't realize they were right there at the gate.
Yeah, and it looked like he missed the jump across the wall. To be honest, that's what it looked like.
One of them down below, one of them up top.
Yeah.
But he came out of the gate, though, looking around. I think he wanted to scout, and it's like, oh, surprise, there's a Stormcrow there. Misses his initial laser shot, but gets some SRMs on target. That turned into a great bait opportunity for 54th. They had to charge at that point.
Yeah.
They've
but a
got
good
three
call
or four
by
guys outside. That charge by 54th was perfectly timed.
Yeah.
And it got them out of that basement. I honestly believe it was a mistake that turned into an opportunity, and that was well done by 54th to leverage that.
Well, that's an important thing that a drop commander needs to be able to do, though, right? I mean, no strategy is going to go perfect every time. Something's going to happen that you didn't expect. Someone's going to make a mistake. It happens. The ability to be able to capitalize even on your own mistakes and turn a mistake into a good thing is what takes a drop caller and makes them good. So props to 54th. I don't know whether it's L Switchblade. I assume it's L Switchblade calling the drops, but whoever they have calling the drops, I agree with you. I think that was a mistake by the Jenner, but 100% kudos for taking that mistake and saying, you know what, this is an opportunity, and let's go win this game, and that's what they did.
And that Jenner was able to rejoin the fight. Didn't last too long, but was able to come back out. I think they recalled that Stormcrow to the main brawl push, allowing those lights to survive out there and come back around and rejoin. They didn't do too much, but the distraction was key for sure. I've been seeing a lot more of those Orion 2Cs used in brawling situations lately. I believe their builds are kind of like mini Atlases. Either
LB20 or UAC20.
Or UAC20. Mostly the
SRM6s.
LBs I've been seeing used, but then stacked up SRM6s. Tanky as heck. They got the Clan XL engines, so they can survive through quite a bit and still have the speed. It's a very, very decent brawler heavy that I've been seeing used more.
Especially
more
in a league like MRBC where you have a couple more restrictions on mechs than like we saw in the World Championships. You can't just bring the same mechs over and over again. Those Orions are a good mech to slot in, when you need to fill a heavy slot.
So we are going to be going into drop 3. Quick note, after this drop, I am going to be doing a roll for 500 MC. All you got to do is talk in chat. It's automatically adding it to my roulette, I guess as of 5 minutes ago. And so say something in chat, and we'll do the roll after this drop. Drop 3, Crimson Straight Conquest, 0 lights, 3 mediums, 4 heavies, 1 assault, and the assault is the commander mech. Has to be an 85-ton mech. I'm willing to bet we'll be seeing Battle Masters or Marauder 2Cs in use. They could bring Stalkers or Warhawk. Probably not a Warhawk.
I would be surprised, but you never know.
But yeah, that is the commander mech. Obviously, the bonus for this, if they can keep their commander alive and kill the other commander, they get bonus reputation as well. But 54th with that solid win, taking the lead on reputation by 100 at 550 to 450. So very strong second showing, puts them a little bit ahead. Let's go take a look. I will make sure all my keybinds on my controller are correct before the next cast.
Yeah, and I'll be honest here, as we're going into Crimson, out of all the competitive maps that we play on a regular basis, as you know, both me and Bandit do play competitively as well as watch other people play competitively, which is almost as fun. Crimson is probably my least favorite. I don't necessarily put that as it's a bad map or I don't like how it looks or anything. It's a personal preference. I just have a darn hard time with Crimson Straight. Least favorite, I think, competitive match.
All
but
right.
We'll see how they play it.
Interesting to note, 54th setting up deep lances. That screams saddle push to me. They've got guys
and
way
their
in the
builds
back.
scream saddle push because this is a full brawl deck again. I don't think they have anyone with longer range than Clan ER mediums.
Blackthorn's Dragoons, if they were paying attention, they should have seen that these lance setups says straight up rush through saddle. They are sending, it looks like, a single Locust or Cicada actually for a quick cap on Epsilon and potentially work some back shots. But BTD has to know that this is coming.
And they are setting up islands. No surprise there. For this side, against a hard saddle push, island's a good place to be.
It really is, and especially the ability to scatter in the water, but BTD is going to have to get some early kills on that initial push because 54th is going to be able to get in there. On top of that, they need to be able to split up and regain range in order to continue laying down that range fire. So Epsilon cap...
Blackthorn's Dragoons is kind of rolling
they saw
right
Epsilon
through
cap,
Island. Yeah, they're going for Epsilon right now.
This
all
is
of them.
Interesting. I feel like they're kind of giving away a
and
position.
if I was 54th, I would be pushing right now, going down the city line because you've got all this covered.
What builds do we have on Blackthorns? I see Summoner. I see Orion 2CA. What are we looking at for their builds? Are they brawl as well?
I am mistaken. This is a brawl deck as well.
So brawl versus brawl, that makes sense. Okay, so I was under the impression that it was
range.
Okay,
yeah, I saw the island push, immediately thought island.
3 cap in favor of BTD,
we have a little bit
but
of a light fight too.
The saddle push is engaged.
Is this Cicada versus Cicada at Theta?
Looks like it is. They're just trying to keep them off the point, but 4 cap now in favor of Blackthorn's Dragoons. 54th now is going to have to get mobile. The fight is going to have to happen. Cicada
and they
is
are mobile,
flipping
coming down underneath.
Theta back, but let's see if that Cicada can get on him and stop it before he can flip it. If he can get even one shot in there, he could stop the cap. Looks like he scraped him, and they saved the cap at a sliver remaining. That's going to buy them a little bit more time, but this brawl
And
is
I think
going
he
to
saw
happen.
that brawl is coming through.
That's great scouting by that Cicada. His team knows what's coming. Let's see how well they approach each other in the city. There's going to be a fight in this city right here.
Now this is my kind of match.
All right, we've got the Orion 2C and the Timber leading the way for 54th. Blackthorn's Dragoons getting a little bit of a traffic jam there. They're hitting that initial Orion a little bit. He's jammed up against the building, but 54th
A little bit of a
is
split focus
surrounding
right
them.
now by Blackthorn's Dragoons.
They're just completely surrounding a massive. Oh man, BTD
Oh, that's
is
a
just
huge
ramming
traffic
into
jam.
each other. 2 quick kills by 54th
Oh.
against BTD. That's going to be costly. That traffic jam. They did not get themselves a firing line, and that's going to
Yeah,
put
that
54th
did
up
not
hard.
go well.
4 dead now for BTD. They did score a kill on the Orion, but it took too long. I would be surprised to see BTD come back from this one. Couple overheats.
At this
by
point, they're just
54th,
hoping to
gonna
get
buy them time.
a couple kills if they can.
Yep, 2 more dead. That was brutal. BTD did not have a good approach to that whatsoever.
Yeah, I didn't mind their initial positioning, but then they kept moving forward into that kind of gap between the hill and the building, and
Oh,
there's nothing for that other than that was ugly.
Skada able to get one more kill just before the end there. Securing another 25 rep for his team, but the last one left, a very hurt Griffin 2N, trying to shield with that left arm, but gets pegged down. 8-3 in favor of 54th MR. So the Caps did nothing but force the brawl, but 54th was pretty much committed to the saddle push anyways. They came over, good scouting by, is that Haji in the Cicada? But that information that he relayed must not have been processed fast enough by BTD. They continued walking down this main road and then just started ramming into each other right here. And that created a massive kill zone. 54th coming down this path and coming over this side, setting up a really nice surrounding of those mechs, and they were able to just massacre them down. They never stood a chance.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we should have had this cast rated mature for that last scene there. That was not pretty.
Oh boy. Taking a look at the damages, BTD, couple guys, 4 guys actually, and I bet you they were all those guys in that little group, that huddle there, held under 200 damage. They were able to put some damage out, but massive firepower coming out from 54th. Increased damages due to, of course, the increased tonnages on the field.
Yeah.
But great numbers coming out of every single one of those pilots. Ouch.
I'm not sure there's much to say other than that. That's one of those matches you go back and you say, lesson learned, avoid the traffic jam, set up to receive or be aggressive by spreading out a little bit. But other than that, you kind of take that one, ball it up, throw it in the trash can, come back for the next one.
On the bright side, BTD did score a kill against the Commander mech, so no bonus for 54th. With that said, they are up 325 rep with that win. It is not over yet, though. As the tonnages get higher, BTD has the opportunity to potentially bring this one back. Alright, let's take a look at the map. Actually, I lied. Let's do the giveaway. Alright, we got the names entered in there. Let's do it. Giveaway for 500 MC code. I forgot to remove the mods, so hopefully none of them win. Rig.
I hope I win.
MC codes brought to you by PGI. Mr. Bombadil, awesome as always, generating those codes for our streams. And props to him. And the winner is almost MD, but it is Nerf 2. Nerf 2, you are the winner of 500 MC. We will be sending you the code from Bandit B17's account, so follow me, and I will message that to you after the stream is done. All right, let's go in and check that replay. Hell of a match so far. BTD had a really great start, but 54th coming back strong with 2 quick wins. Had that little bit of a cicada fight over Theta. I don't know if they were able to really do much to each other, but the BTD cicada bailed out, but was able to stop the cap for a little while. Ultimately, that doesn't matter, but was able to put some harassing shots. But the big thing is gathering that push information. Now, we assume that he saw that push. We assume.
If he did, that was a double victory for him. Like you said,
Absolutely.
Stop the cap, get the information. What more could you ask for? I mean, that and get out of there without taking too much damage.
Oh, I think he turned away before seeing anything.
Oh, did
That
he?
would explain why BTD kind of just walked into that one a little bit. I don't know. Right here, they know they're there. So right here, they're already trading shots. But I don't think they knew that these guys were here until right there. But that does not excuse what happens next, which is this traffic jam continuing to push forward. And just this kill zone right here is
Cover the eyes of your
brutal.
young ones watching.
Oh, good lord. No explanation needed on that one.
No.
Great swarm tactic by 54th, getting the job done very quick. I think Blackthorns had the initiative. They could have set up a really nice reception.
For a half a
themselves.
second, I thought they were going to, instead of continuing on to that little, fender bender that they had, I thought they were going to kind of set up in that little opening, right, kind of behind the buildings, in between the buildings and the hill. And it looked like for a half a second they were going to have a hunchback with his back to the building, kind of facing their own firing line. Maybe, acting as a little bit of a bait, letting them run past him and getting a back shot. Instead, we saw something entirely different. It didn't quite work
Big plays
out.
by that cicada, landing that black shot on that overheated Marauder 2C for 54th, not securing their team rep, but robbing 54th of 50 reputation. Well done by him to at least dull the pain a little bit.
Yeah.
They did secure, of course, 25 rep for the kill, which is big, but well done 54th. So into drop 4. 2 lights, 2 mediums, 2 heavies, 2 assaults on Caustic Valley Conquest. This is an interesting map. I would say this is my not least favorite map, but I have issues.
Is this your least favorite competitive map?
This is my least favorite to play because I'm bad at it.
Yeah, we know that.
I'm trying, obviously, to figure out new ways by watching people play, new ways to go about controlling this map, but there's a lot of openness to it, and then that big caldera right in the middle, which is obviously attractive to a lot of people, but let's see how these guys handle it. They've done some brawling so far. I'm actually a little disappointed BTD didn't set up range on island there. I think they had the advantage of being able to receive that saddle push. I would have liked to have seen that go down, but them bringing brawl themselves, ending up walking into a death trap. And good effort, though.
I am curious to see what they do on Caustic. So far, both teams, for the most part, with the exception of BTD on HBG, which was like a mixed deck, they've been pretty brawl heavy. I'm not so sure that they would change it up now. On Caustic, you can obviously do range. It's a big map, but it's a hot map, and sometimes on those hot maps, just being able to get into range with a brawler and hopefully not lose any mechs before you do it can be the way to win.
All right, both teams coming in on the drop ships. Looks like we've got ourselves Brawl for 54th, and Gargoyles, Warhammers, Novas, Gargoyles and Night Gears for Blackthorns, Dragoons.
Ooh. That's a fast brawl.
Blackthorns are gonna try and get this one done quick. What does that Warhammer 60 bring?
Bandit B-17
Large
Warhammer
pulse
Critic.
lasers and medium lasers. So LPL's on that Warhammer 60. He will have to try and keep a little bit of range. He won't be armor sharing with his team unless he gets caught out. Probably running XL with that build. Yeah, definitely running XL with that build. It is my favorite mech, though, the Warhammer 60. But in the immediate cap on Theta by 54th, they have the 3 cap. That light bails out the Wolfhound. Blackthorns Dragoons just stepping up, getting some early shots in. and the Locust is going to try his hand, but quickly and smartly gets out as the Overwatch from that DACA Kodiak gets some shots in on him. But he takes some return fire as well. Some really good DACA coming in. I think that's the Night Gear.
Yeah, it's the Night Gear.
Shots in. Oh, and an amazing airstrike right across that Kodiak, hitting the Griffin 2N as well. Really good strike placement by Blackthorn's Dragoons. Looks like they are rotating around the right side. 54th.
They've got the early damage advantage here.
They do. 54th set up over Theta. They don't really have a reason to move, but they also don't have any scouting on that left side.
They do have a summoner standing right down there, and he just saw the light.
There it is,
and now
Gargoyle. He's making calls. He's taking shots. We're going to see 54th start mobilizing to receive on that left side. They could push into Keldar and whip around from that left. But a quick kill
that
on
Locust
the
down.
Locust. Good lord. They have a little bit of a traffic
Blackthorn's
jam as
Dragoons
they back
slowing
out.
down again.
Switchblade in that Griffin taking a lot of damage. It's hard for Blackthorns to focus anything because they keep rotating out.
And now the Gargoyle charging in on his
up the
own.
center. That wasn't too good for that Gargoyle. Next Gargoyle right up in front. Where's the rest of his team? Good lord. The Nova is getting some shots in, but that Orion exposing his back to the Nova, and he's not able to land the shot. Not looking good for BTD. They're just missing opportunities left and right. And an amazing brawl by 54. Good reception. That is how you receive a push.
Yeah, that's a good reception.
Just focus on the first thing that comes around. Ooh, Hydropile with
A team kill there.
On L Switchblade. But it's just a consolation prize for BTD. They significantly got rocked on this one. Those
and right as they were moving up to the front, right with those Gargoyles kind of getting ready to push, I think a light from 54th jumped in the backfield, did a little bit of harassing from the edge of the caldera with those rocks, and I think that's what slowed down some of those mechs in the back. They kind of turned around, said, "What the heck's shooting me?" And those Gargoyles charged in. Now, unfortunately, they charged in one at a time, which is even worse. But a really good reception there, spread out kind of among the rocks, using a little bit of cover and basically holding the gaps among the rocks so that Blackthorn's Dragoons had to charge out into the open in order to get an engagement there.
That Locust getting held to 1 damage. Wow. Getting pegged coming through the Caldara.
Yeah.
Heads up play by 54th to peg him. I don't think he was doing himself any favors, though. I think he was running straight at their team when they got a shot in on him. But those Gargoyles coming in one at a time, and that's the only thing I could think of is where's their team? Where's the rest of BTD?
And I think that was the light harassment there. We'll have to go back to the replay and check it, but I'm pretty sure there was some harassing fire that was slowing them up.
And a lot of missed opportunities on back shots by the Nova. It added up to being a disaster for BTD, but a really good reception by 54th. After getting up on damage at the start, just that hard push around the side, and the Summoner, good heads-up play by the Summoner, watching that left side, and you could tell the instant he started calling it, he takes a shot, tells his team, all of 54th starts flowing to receive. Very well done by them. Alright, plug in the kills here. Was that 8-2?
8. Did they get 2?
Yep. Yet again, and I was watching it, Haji in the, I think he was in a light this time, Arctic Cheetah. I don't know what you would call that, but as things are falling apart, he's getting those like back shot kills. Consolation kills there. I mean, he's the cleaner or whatever, I don't know. But managed to pick up another last-second kill to at least give his team another 25 reputation. But 54th coming to play today, up 3-1 with an impressive 1,200 rep. They are rolling it hard. BTD, it's going to be hard. I don't think mathematically they can win this match by reputation because the wins have been so good for 54th. But they need to pick up as much rep as they can.
They need to salvage a little bit. Now, admittedly, it's the opening week for both these teams, so they have some time. Blackthorn's Dragoons can look back and say, you know, what did we do so well on drop 1 versus obviously what we struggled on some of these later drops, and kind of take some of that as a lesson and grow as the season goes on. Because I think they did some really good things early on and then maybe lost a little bit of their focus, their coordination. The last 2 matches, what we've really seen isn't so much a culmination of the builds or the individual skill levels so much as just poor coordination as a team, both in focus and in that movement kind of at the macro level, making sure you push at the same time, making sure that you're in a good position to either receive a push or to make the push.
Absolutely. So some initial pushes up to the Caldara by BTD. Mirrored pushes up to the Caldara. I wasn't sure if